Hopefully this will be a bit smoother now. I'm just going to delete a load of bollocks. Welcome to the video log for the season finale of Dark Saviour. I haven't uploaded it yet, but by the time this goes out you will have seen it if you watch it. Probably my favourite of the ones I've done, because it was the culmination of a lot of work. It was it had action in it. It had drama. I think it was well written. I think there was emotion in there as well that came with Dezaras' responsibilities versus Dad's protective father status, and that all blew up. But it was resolved. I just enjoyed doing this, and don't get me wrong, I didn't intend to die in Star Labs, but that was a happy coincidence. I felt it went well. I was happy with it. There was problems editing, movie maker was being a bitch, but I got through it, and I think it was good. I do. I've just recorded the One Step Closer video log. I'm off a 10-hour shift. I've got my son coming over in about half an hour. I'm tired. So let's just go through it. It was a lot simpler to do than One Step Closer because it was basically just the Star Labs mission. I cut out the T.O. Morrow lair bit. I'll get into that in another video log as to why I didn't show that part. I mean, the video was long enough as it was. I'm gonna just stop because I've got a phone call. Sorry about that. So yeah, unlike the other One Step Closer, which was all open world and stuff, there was, sorry, I'm a bit warm. Let me just flash my tits then. It was all contained in one spot, and it was a bloody long one. I went in there with the Dezaras duplicates. It's just hit level 30, and to present more of a challenge, and it was. I died, but that was what I went for, and the other scenes were basically Dad and Betty at the terminal and stuff. And one thing I didn't touch on in the last video log that I had in the one that I deleted that was all disjointed, Betty knowing Dezaras' secret. And so I'll talk about that a little bit, because this isn't a Superman Lois Lane scenario. This isn't Lois Lane meet Clark Kent, then she meets Superman and stuff. I'm talking pre-Man of Steel here. But this is a journalism student and her brother is the superhero. Now she's going to notice certain little things, like the physique. I mean, even Dad touches on it. Results instant. Where did you go for your stag do? The gym? Stuff like that. I didn't want to bring the whole Lois Lane whole, Clark Kent, Superman, alright Mike, that's Dezaras and all that shit. Because I don't want to be like that. I wanted it to be, I'm not saying Lois Lane's thick, but pair of glasses, people. So I thought with Betty it's a different scenario because she's his sister. She's known him all her life. She lived with him for most of her life. So, I mean, there's about 12 years age between them. So, but yeah, he's known her all of her life and that sort of thing. So, it's going to be one of those things where she's going to notice it. She's going to notice that he's put on £30, or however much, instantly. Because I'm playing it that the exabyte also bulked him up to accommodate his super strength. enhanced strength and all that shit, it kind of, gave him more body mass, increased his body mass to accommodate that. I didn't want him being a skinny little bitch, being able to lift buses. It just wouldn't have worked. Not for me, anyway. So that's what I wanted to go with that. She would have figured it out because it's someone she knows closely, and has known closely for 18 years. That's what I wanted to go for with that. Dad's the scientist. He works at Wayne Tech and all that. He's a scientist. Does all the science shit and the technology shit. I don't really give him, apart from the Batman Inc. thing, I don't really give him a clear job role. But yeah, there's a bit of everything. He gets around, does that. So yeah, you've got Dezaras on the ship, satellite, you've got Dad and Betty at home doing their thing on the typing and that. And the Kaiser Chiefs thing, I thought, because it's every time I hear that, I detect a threat, all I think about is I predict a riot. And so that's where the Kaiser Chiefs thing came from. I think I mentioned in the previous video log about disguising characters. I did that in this episode. Randolph, considering it's Christmas, I should have called him Rudolph, but Randolph was actually Agent Thomas. I went and bought him an old man skin, I made it white, I basically made his tie black, took his shades off and gave him black hair and a beard, and a different voice. I gave him the Cyclonus voice. And that's Randolph. And that's basically just Agent Thomas in disguise. That's the things I can do. I can work around stuff like that. I didn't really want to have to go through a whole character creation process and get Randolph off the Brainiac ship just for one fucking scene. Flashbacks. The reason I did the flashbacks is because there's that much action in this episode. I mean, from the start up until the end when he's on Starlab's roof. It's all just go, 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 go. There's really little time for a break unless he's arguing with Dad over the comms about his fucking fighting style or shoulder gear or stuff like that. So I wanted a couple of little things to break it up. It actually made editing a lot easier. I'd edit up to the flashback because you can only do so much on Movie Maker before it says, oh, you can't do anymore. And then, so I'd work up to the first flashback, and then I'd go from after that to the second flashback, and then from after that I would carry on as is. And for the most part it worked. Plus the flashback slowed it down a little bit, because it needed slowing down in places. I didn't just want it being one of those Let's Plays with a few scenes of Dad. Like, oh, this is what you next and all that, and go over there and do that and shit like that. I didn't want to do it. It would have looked too much like a Let's Play, so I needed more character stuff to compensate for all the action that was going on. And it also put to rest some of the issues, like Dad being overprotective. And, yes, he would lose a son if Dezaras had died on the ship properly. If he had died on the ship, then Dad would have lost his son, Betty would have lost her brother. But if Dezaras had died on that ship, then they would have probably died as well, because Brainiac would have probably targeted them, using the corpse of Dezaras. Even if Dezaras had survived but hadn't been able to stop Brainiac, if he fails, then he could lose them. The whole world loses out in this situation. It's like what Betty said. They're not thinking about the bigger picture, but he is. Dezaras is thinking about the safety of the world. Betty and Dad are thinking about the safety of a brother/son. And that's where it all comes in. And I think I wanted Dad to realise that, because there was a lot of it there was some of it in the last episode in One Step Closer. There was also some of it in cleaning up the streets. So I wanted to put that to rest. That was like one of the other little mini arcs that I was going with that I wanted wrapping up. We saw Batman. Batman was in Dark Saviour and not just in voice form. It was fun going to the Batcave and doing that. It was a bit disjointed in there because I fucking forgot what terminal, what computer to use. That's where I threw in the which one you have dozens. And then that fucking mob that all just attacked me at once. How I got out of that, I don't know. And then I shut off the other terminals because I wasn't sure if there was any other mobs. But then I went back and watched it. I'm like, well, maybe he was just doing it just to make doubly sure. And fucking pissed me off when I knocked the Batman robot off the walkway and down, and all of a sudden it just disappears like, get in the final bits, and I'm like, fuck off, get back here. A lot of this was, some of it, the fighting is reactionary. The comments in that, like if I take a shot, I'll be like, ugh, or ah, and stuff like that. It's a reaction. That's how I do a lot of it, and it was like that with the fucking Batman robot. Like, get back here, and yeah, fucking get back here. I'm not done with you. Don't fuck off. We're gonna fight down here. We didn't fight down there. But that's just, it's, you know, it's good to like do sorts of, because I script the character bits in advance. I'll write those bits, and then the fighting, I might have an idea, and I'll stop, and I'll try and set a scene while I'm there if the area's clear. But for the most part, it's all reactions, like the the overseers. And I'm like, not again. You're not getting me again. Not again. It's stuff like that. It's just reacting to that sort of thing. And oftentimes, that stuff will be, I'll be speaking that as I'm fighting. And I'll do, I'll use that. Fucking shit like that. It's a process that works, and it's something that I can use, and that's pretty much, I don't know where that's going. I should have just ended it with it's a process that works, and not added the end. But yeah, overall I was happy with it. I was excited to do this one, because you see Batman in there. Obviously, Dark Saviour Rises is a play on Dark Knight Rises. And, you know, he falls in the middle, the Overseer, and that mob gets him. Well, actually, I think I killed the Overseer before I died. And so yeah, I lost to a load of bitches. It wasn't the Overseer that took me. But it was, you know, it was fun. It was a good episode for me to do. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to talk about musical cues because I need to put them in now. I'm doing this preemptively. I'm trying to get as much done because, you know, it's Christmas next week. So I need to get all this done, and I want the finale up tonight, so I want to get the video logs and everything done in advance. And that's pretty much it. Season 1 is over. I mean, I've got a little bit of editing to do, then I'll upload it. But Season 1 is over. It was the Brainiac thing. It was a trial and error season. Season 2 is going to be more trial and error as I figure out new settings and new capturing ways to stop the pixelation and try and limit the amount of drop frames that I'm going to get from having a better looking product. But that's stuff that I'll go into in another video log, which I'm probably going to record straight after this, before Bradley gets here. So that is pretty much everything, I think. I've talked about all the stuff. Not really that many problems, except Movie Maker being a bitch. Story-wise, I think it went well. I am very pleased with this. I'm happy with this one. And I hope everyone else is too. So, I wished you Merry Christmas in the last one. This will go out after. But just in case I upload it before, like maybe a Christmas Eve video log or something like that. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and you shall see me next time.